Let's dive back 65 million years. During the Paleocene, have you ever heard of giant snakes? This giant prehistoric monster, which we'll talk about today, hunted like a modern boa constrictor, wrapping itself around the victim and squeezing until he suffocated. But boas are just babies compared to those monsters that lived after the death of the dinosaurs. What would happen today if Titanoboa lived today? Would humans and other living beings be able to survive? Today, I tell you about the ancient monsters that terrified everyone in the area. You'll find out where and when these monsters lived, and in the end, we will transfer them to our time. You will see if the Titanoboa will take over the world and whether modern animals and humans will be able to fight back. Something tells me it's going to be very hot today. What is Titanoboa? The weight exceeded a ton. Can you imagine this giant? In order for you to better imagine what scale its size reached, I will show you its size in comparison with elephants. If you put 4 elephants on the ground, then the Titanoboa will still be longer. Paleontologists, before finding the remains of the Titanoboa, have always considered the 10-meter Gigantophis the most gigantic. This African snake preyed on the distant ancestor of the elephant, Meryteria. It is reassuring that the size of snakes is getting smaller over time because Gigantophis lived in the Paleocene period, which is 10 million years later than the Titanoboa. Scientists in Washington compared the fossil vertebrae of Gigantophis with those of the largest modern snakes, up to 10.7 meters in length. The dimensions of the Titanoboa amazed me even more. Zoologists did a comparative analysis of the skeletons and came to a conclusion that the snake could reach 14.3 meters in length and weigh more than a ton. Listed in the Guinness Book of World Records is the reticulated python Samantha, measuring 7.9 meters. It turns out that Titanoboa is 2 times more than modern giants, and we are just little people occupying the edge of her tail. Just look at this. She could easily swallow a baby elephant. Many mistakenly assume that she initially preferred to strangle her victim, but scientists have come to a shocking conclusion. In fact, the Titanoboa attacked its prey more dramatically. First, it partially sank into the water, and then when the victim was in range, the giant reptile with a sudden throw grabbed the unfortunate prey with its massive jaws around the trachea. The monster loved the swamps and rivers of the early Paleocene period in South America. And if you are a nervous time traveler, then these places will shock you. In the same place, giant carbonomes, tortoises, coexisted with the Titanoboa. It is possible that these 2 giant reptiles accidentally crossed paths from time to time. Scientists were able to establish that the Titanoboa lived in tropical and subtropical rainforests. She preferred to hide in the murky rivers and lakes from where she led her hunt. Snakes of this size moved extremely slowly, rarely crawling out of their shelters, and moreover, did not crawl through trees as many boas and pythons do. In support of this, scientists drew analogies with the modern anaconda, which leads just such a lifestyle. South America recovered quickly from global climate change as a result of the asteroid impact on the Yucatan Peninsula 69 million years ago, which threw clouds of dust obscuring the sun. During the Paleocene epoch, present-day Peru and Colombia had a tropical climate with high humidity and average air temperature ideal for cold-blooded reptiles, just like the Titanoboa. Scientists found the first remains of the Titanoboa in 2009 in the coal mines of PUENTE, located in Colombia. What did she eat? Now, the opinion of scientists are fully justified that the main food of the queen of snakes was prehistoric crocodiles from the family of the Dirosaurids and caiman-like alligators. Indeed, adult Titanoboas could often prey on the Cericronasuchus, tortoises, and all sorts of coastal inhabitants of Colombia. Unlike some modern venomous snakes, the bright colors would have been of no use to a prehistoric snake. In fact, the Titanoboa had an unremarkable coloration that helped the snake blend in with its surroundings. If you were miraculously transported to Paleocene South America, chances are the Titanoboa bit you in half before you realized it wasn't seaweed. But this did not prevent this monster from terrifying all creatures both on land and underwater. And now, let's finally imagine that they are not extinct but peacefully coexist with us.
You One ugly motherfucker.
Although it is peaceful is a big question. If the Titanoboa had not died out, it would have lived in the human subtropical climate. Today, these belts have the opportunity to feel every inhabitant of Russia without leaving its borders, because they cover the entire Black Sea coast of Russia, from the southern coast of Crimea to Abkhazia. In addition, its beneficial effect is partially noted in the European countries of the Mediterranean Sea, Portugal, Italy, Greece, France, and Turkey, among others. In addition, it would be extremely unlucky now for the inhabitants who could meet Titanoboa in Chile, California, Africa, and Australia. People would have to defend their homes from such monsters. If the Titanoboa wanted to feast on a human, we would have to raise fences higher than 15 meters and build high fences around our houses. Rumor has it that snakes are scared away from the home, diesel fuel, natural wool, and garlic. According to popular experience, snakes can be driven away with the help of natural wool.
You suck!
Oh shit!
Every inhabitant of the subtropics would have to lay out other buildings at the threshold of the house, as well as all places where live wool can climb and keep garlic in their pockets. Do you believe in it? In horror films, we are shown how snakes devour people. But in life, she is not interested in people. It is very convenient for us to eat from our feet or heads. Joke! And for a human, this would be a super trophy, especially for zookeepers and smooth skin hunters. People who caught these snakes would become heroes like in fairy tales about dragons. If you know the Titanoboa needs 40 kg of food per day, you can imagine what animals would serve as a treat for them. Most likely, we would have to forget about tourism because of the bloodthirsty nature of this monster, and everyone who would dare to go into the rivers and seas of the subtropics would write out a death sentence for himself. If it were not for the level of oxygen, which exceeded at the time of prosperity of the Titanoboa, exceeded almost 2 times, then these predators would have found a place to exist. I wonder what would have happened if the Titanoboa did eat humans. You may be wondering, why all the fuss about a giant prehistoric snake, the mass of which reached 1 ton, when some types of dinosaurs weighed hundreds times more? Perhaps the fear of snakes in many nations seems irrational, but meeting a huge snake that attacks like a giant alligator would not be the most pleasant thing in your life. So we will leave this story for the next edition of What Is. If you want to be aware of the most amazing events, subscribe to my Telegram channel and Instagram at the link in the description. Together, we will create the strongest community of science fans.